Hey everyone! Remember last month when Black Forest Labs launched those awesome FLUX.1 Kontext Pro and Max models? Well, exciting news! They just released the developer version of FLUX.1 Kontext Pro. And the best part, we can use it for free right inside ConfUI. Just a heads up about the technical side. The original model from Black Forest Lab is huge, 23 8GB. Running it smoothly needs about 32 GB of your GPU's VRAM. But don't worry if that sounds like too much. There's a GGUF version available on Hugging Face. I'll drop the download link in the description below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you appreciate this. For most setups, I recommend grabbing the Q8 version. It's a smaller 12.7 GB download and only needs around 20 GB of VRAM. If your VRAM is still tight, there are even smaller versions you can download. The ConfUI team has shared some example workflows on their official website to use this new model. You can check the description for the link to the page with all the workflows. But I should mention, there are a few issues with these workflows. For example, check out this workflow. It tries to place two characters together in one scene by using an image stitch node. This node stitches the two uploaded pictures into one image. Then, that stitched image gets used as conditioning and is also encoded and fed into the latent space. I've seen a lot of online workflows copying this exact method, but when I test it myself, honestly, it often just doesn't work as expected. Let me show you. In this test, I tried blending a woman into a beach scene. However, the final output was identical to the stitched image. What I wanted was a portrait-style image, taller than it is wide, but this output is landscape, wider than tall. Plus, there was no way in this workflow to actually set the desired output size. Because of these problems, I decided to build my own workflow. Let me walk you through it. I do stitch the uploaded images together initially, but look at this output. I successfully blended the woman into the beach. See how her feet are submerged in the seawater? Exactly like I described in my prompt. That's the goal. The power of this workflow comes from its flexibility. This conditioning switch node lets you choose between two different conditioning inputs, and this index switch node lets you pick from 4 different latent images to fit into the K-sampler. The final image size depends entirely on the size of the latent image you choose. You adjust that easily in the empty SD3 latent image node. Right now, the index of the any index switch node is set to 0. That means it's using the latent image from the first node group. The uploaded image gets resized by the FLUX Kontext image scale node. This smart node resizes your image to fit the FLUX Kontext model's needs while keeping the original proportions. Here it scaled it to 832 by 1248. After encoding, this becomes the latent image for the K-sampler, and this size also dictates the final output image size. Now let's tweak things. I'll deactivate the last group of nodes. Then I'll activate this upscale image by node and set it to enlarge the image by 1.2 times. Okay, let's run it. See, now the latent image size is 998 by 1498, meaning the output will be bigger too. Now I'll reactivate the final group and generate the final image. Check out the consistency now. But her feet are dry, not in the water like I asked. Also, her skin has some blemishes. The image is larger or sometimes bigger isn't always better for the results. Now let's switch back. I'll deactivate the upscale node and revert to the initial state. Perfect. Now the output meets all my requirements. Fitting water, good skin. Through lots of testing, I learned how crucial prompt freezing is. For instance, In this prompt, I used a detailed specific request to keep the woman and the beach unchanged and make sure the woman's feet are submerged in the water. Now let's try a more natural, shorter prompt. This one still says the woman's feet are submerged in the seawater. Let's see what it produces. Not ideal. The beach doesn't match my uploaded beach image, and her feet are still dry. So, sometimes shorter prompts can fail to produce the results you want. For price control, detailed prompts are key. Switching back to my original prompt and resetting the workflow, now look at the conditioning switch node. The input is set to 2. That means the conditioning comes from the fourth group, where the staged image was encoded. Oh, wait a second. I spotted a mistake. That image was already encoded in a fourth group, so I shouldn't re-encode it here. I should just import the latent directly. My bad. Let me fix that. Okay, set the input to 1 now to switch the conditioning source. This setup uses 2 latents, one from each uploaded image. The reference latent node transforms them into conditioning and combines them. Let's run it and see what we get. Interesting. The woman and the beach look almost identical to the original pictures, but her feet still not in water, not quite there yet. The case sampler is currently using the latent from the first group, the woman. Let's switch the index switch to use the latent from the second group. The beach instead. Run it again. There we go. Now the output is exactly what we wanted, so different conditioning and latent combinations can achieve similar good results. If your first try isn't perfect, play with these switches. Let's try one more combo. Switch the latent image selector to the encoded staged image. Let's see how that turns out. And it just outputs the staged image itself, not useful for blending. Finally, remember you can easily change the output aspect ratio. Let's set the empty SD3 latent image size to 1184 by 880 for a landscape image. Check it out. We get a nice wide shot. The how staging conditionings and latents gives us different results with the FLUX context model. Okay, time for a bonus tip. Look at this example, generating a couple's selfie. Compare the output to the original man and woman pictures. Notice the man looks pretty close, but the woman doesn't resemble her original photo as much. Instead of just switching conditionings and latents, we can flip the uploaded images. Right now, the man is uploaded in group 1 and the woman is in group 2. Let's swap them. Woman in group 1, man in group 2. Run it again. Much better. Now the woman is on the left, and she looks much more like her original photo. If blackness is lacking, definitely try swapping the uploaded images. So far, we've used 2 input images. But guess what? This workflow handles single images too. I'll deactivate the second node group. Adjust the prompt to just describe the woman. Run it. Perfect. We get a solo selfie of the woman. The workflow also supports iterative editing. Hit this refresh button. It shows our latest outputs. We can also load previous outputs. Let's choose that couple selfie we made earlier. Crucially, remember to set the conditioning input back to 2 so it uses the couple image correctly. Now let's add another woman into the shot. Update the prompt to say a man with 2 women. We also need a wider shot for 3 people, so change the empty SD3 latent image size to a landscape format. Generate. Oops, got 4 people in the group shot this time. Sometimes it overshoots. Let's try another generation. Yes, 3 people this time. Want to edit this version further? Just load it into the first group as a new input image. It creates a conversational, step-by-step editing process, similar to chatting with an AI. I really hope this custom workflow makes your Flux context editing smoother and more powerful. If you have ideas to make it even better, definitely share them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.